Hi everybody, this is Maritza, and you are listening to the Autism Stress Less podcast, where each week we take a few minutes to talk about stressing less when you are caring for a child with autism. Hello everybody, and welcome to the Autism Stress Less podcast. I'm going to talk to you guys today about how to deal with frustrating behaviors that your child may have. And I hope that some of the tips that I give to you guys will help you to get through those difficult times. All right, let's dive right in. Have you ever felt as though you're all alone and you're at a low point in your life where you just feel like life is not going the way that you would like it to go? Well, we don't have to be ruled by our negative emotions. Not only do thousands of other parents that have children with special needs feel the way that you do right now, but Jesus has felt that way too. And I know that there's some listeners that, you may not believe in God, this, that, and the other, but I do. And I know that Jesus has felt that way. I mean, at a low point in his life, Jesus said, my God, why have you forsaken me? And that's in the book of Matthew 27. And it's true for a lot of us, right? When we go through difficulties, we're like, what in the world? Like, why? Where are you, God? Why are you doing this, right? But there's been times where I told God, if you don't rescue me in this anxiety that I'm feeling, I think I'm going to run away. And that is the God's honest truth, you guys. And if you're listening to this, you know that he's rescued me, right? Because I'm talking to all of you guys. But there are ways that you can get through these difficult moments that you may be facing with your child. So in the past 2 weeks, Jaden, my 13-year-old, who has a whole bunch of different issues, level 3 autism, intellectual disability, epilepsy, pica. He has been with some maladaptive behaviors like spitting on everybody, hitting walls, windows, screaming. When somebody coughs, he'll scream every time somebody coughs. If a dog barks, he's screaming. So it gets rough sometimes in our household. And one of the things that with reading a lot and, talking to people at the Board of Developmental Disabilities, this and the other, and talking to even other parents who have adult children, with special needs, this is the norm. And so it was kind of hard to swallow a couple weeks ago when I was talking to a mom, and she was like, this is the norm, this is something that you have to accept. This is who your child is, because he has so many different disabilities, not just autism, but he also has an intellectual disability, this, that, and the other. And so once I was able to sit there and really accept, like, wow, this is who my child is, and I just have to help our family adapt to the changes that he's going through, adapt to his behaviors, and figure out ways to help him deal with what he's going through, And I always say first you rule out the medical issues, because of course if you have a child who's nonverbal, you want to make sure they don't have ear infections, throat infections, pain, whatever that may be. But, if they're okay medically, you have to understand that this is just how our children are, and we have to learn how to adapt to whatever's going on with them at a specific moment, so that way your whole family can live in peace. So, I'm going to give you a few good ways if you guys want to get a pen and a paper, or you can just jot it down on your phone, right? Or iPad. You guys know what I wanted to say, right? iPad, MacBook, whatever you have. So here are a few good ways to help you deal with some frustrating behaviors. Number 1, I have refused to be anxious in this world, right? So you're going to have a lot of difficulties when you have a child with autism. You may have a lot of anxiety that's within you, but when you are anxious, above all else, call out to God and pray about every single thing. And I know, like I said before, for some of you that don't believe in God or have a relationship with God or don't go to church, you may find it very hard. However, I promise you that it's really easy to go into the bathroom, close the door, lock it, and cry out to God. And if you're a mother, a father, a grandparent, caregiver, if you're at your wit's end, you may have extreme anxiety within your heart and your soul, and you need to call out to a higher power. Number 2, refuse to be ruled by anger. A person who is angry and upset with everybody around them can make some serious mistakes. because of anger. I mean, I'm guilty. I have a far worse temper than Kevin does. He is more patient with things. So some people destroy their lives, guys, forever because of anger, because they let their emotions get the best of them. Some people kill. Do not be those kinds of people. Only foolish people are quick to get angry at their kids because of certain behaviors that they have. But I would be lying to you if I told you that, I've never been angry at my child, because that's not true. I've been angry a lot of times. But you're allowed to be angry in the right ways. Like I said, if your child is upsetting, and as long as they're okay and everybody else in the house is okay, go into the bathroom, close the door, lock it, take a deep breath, and try to regain your composure and get some wisdom. Number 3, don't be discouraged by your circumstances. I know, it's hard for me to say that out loud to you guys. And I know it's hard, and I know some of you have a full plate, of a bunch of different things that you're doing. An example I have is the Apostle Paul. He said, I have learned in whatever state that I am in to be content. And he also said, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. That's in Philippians 4, verses 11 through 13. So don't sacrifice your peace because you want things to be different. Get yourself off the social media, quit looking at other people's families and what their lives look like, and start believing that you can do all things through Christ who strengthens you, and believe that God will give you contentment, rest, and peace in any situation that you have with your child, and make that a goal for your family. Number 4, choose not to live in depression. I have suffered with depression in my life since I was a little girl, and I won't get into the reasons why in this podcast, but the good news is that you can actually choose not to live in your feelings. You can choose not to, stay in a place of despair. And a lot of people, have gone through depression. A lot of people are going through depression. And also in the Bible, there's tons of people who suffered with depression. And one of my favorite Psalms is 119, verse 28. My soul melts from heaviness. Strengthen me according to your word. And it's so true, because I've been there, just listen to that. My soul melts from heaviness. Strengthen me according to your word, right? Where I felt like my soul was so heavy because so much was going on with Jaden and with my marriage and with our whole family that I couldn't bear it any longer. But it was then that I would read a scripture, or lock myself in the bathroom and talk to God, or listen to a song that was uplifting, or listen to a sermon, or listen to a motivational coach, like Tony Robbins or Brendan Burchard, or do anything and everything to get out of that state of depression. It really does work. So the stress less skill for the week is, don't lose hope when you are having to deal with difficult and frustrating behaviors with your child. Okay, so don't lose hope. I know it's hard to say that out loud, but don't allow those those ugly negative emotions to take away from your life and your family. Believe that everything's going to work out for good. And I have a prayer for you guys. Lord, I pray for all the mothers and fathers and grandparents and caregivers that are listening right now. Today I pray that you help them to live in your joy and peace, and give them strength and understanding to resist the anxieties, the anger, depression, and the hopelessness that may be surfacing in their lives right now. Rescue them when their spirit is overwhelmed within them, and when they cry out to you, God, hear their voice and answer them. And so the scripture that I have for you guys I referenced earlier in the podcast, and that is in Psalm 119. So that was the one where I was telling you guys that it just resonates with me because of how so many times I feel that way, where it's like, man, my soul, everything just feels so heavy. Why, does it have to be this way? But instead of me, always asking why, now, as time has gone on, I'm learning to trust. So I trust and I believe and I have hope. Whereas before I was in that state of hopelessness. So I don't want to keep you guys too long, but Psalm 119 verse 28, my soul melts from heaviness, strengthen me according to your word. And so I hope that this podcast helped you guys today. Have a great rest of your week, and I will talk to you all next week.